Thank you very much. Alan, Kimberly's stepfather, is going to come and share with us some thoughts from the family.
Well, I wrote everything down because I need to get through this. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being there for Kimberly. It has been a very long 2 weeks for the family. Without the church, friends, and family, I don't know how we could have been here today. I want to take this time to thank all of you from all of us. Everybody that has been around Kimberly has been touched in some way. I've heard so many stories over the last few weeks. My heart melts when I hear the impact she had on other people's lives. But for those who knew her, will never forget her. Even though Kimberly was my stepchild, I loved and treated her just as like she was my own daughter. Jen and I were blessed to have her move back off and on over the last few years. After a time, sometimes we didn't feel so blessed. I don't know how many of you have had your 22-year-old move back home, but let me tell you, it was no picnic. Other times, it was a blast. The first few times she moved back to the house, it didn't last very long. She'd move in and into the house in a room, and she'd only last a few weeks, and tensions grew. The last time was this spring. Jenna and I decided to let her stay in our trailer, and that was the answer. It worked out. It was the little home right next to the big home, and she had her space, and we had ours. I work from home, so every morning there was Kimberly in the kitchen eating a healthy breakfast. I would crawl out of bed. I would wake up and have a half a pot of coffee just to wake up and function. She would always tell me how important breakfast is and that coffee was not good for me. I would then show her my multivitamins and pills that I take every morning with my coffee. She would just smile. I would then work for a while, go upstairs and see Kim watching a workout video. There she was, laying on our floor, doing sit-ups, stretches, and weights, and who knows what else, but it looked painful. It made me tired to just seeing her. I would go get another cup of coffee and head back downstairs. I'd work for a while and go back upstairs to get a Diet Coke because the pot of coffee was empty. Now that girl would tell me that I was having way too much caffeine. Can you believe that? Well, it was time for Kimberly's morning run. She was all dressed up and ready to go. I thought she was worked out on the video, but I guess I was wrong. By the time she got home, it was time to take a shower, and once she was done, it was time for me to eat some solid foods. I always asked her if she wanted to make me something or if I could make her something for lunch. I would eat leftovers or a few hot dogs. You should have been there when Kim told me what was in a hot dog. I sometimes would suggest something else, but every time I suggested something, I was wrong. I don't think I ever made her a lunch. Kim did make me a lunch a few times. I really missed not having meat with my meals, but it was all right. At least I didn't have to make it myself. After lunch, I would go back down to work, and Kim would write in her journal. She was always writing in something in those books. I always wondered if it was about me and what I had for lunch. Finally, Janet would come home. They would spend some time together. After that, Janet would head to the kitchen to start dinner. Kim would go into her home next to home. Janet would call me upstairs for dinner, and I would ask where Kim was. She was running again. That girl. We would be sitting and eating, and Kim would come in, wash up, grab a plate, and serve herself. What? You'll eat your mom's cooking and not mine? She would let me know that her mom's cooks healthy food. And you? Well, you know. And there was that smile again. Sometimes we would all watch a movie together. Sometimes I would go back down and work, and she would be with Janet in the living room talking. This went on day after day, week after week. I would not change those memories of Kim during this time at all. I remember a few times that I woke up and Kim made me breakfast. Some eggs, some toast, no bacon. Once she made me this yogurt thing with bananas and fresh fruit all whipped up, and I sat and I just woke up in the morning and I just told her that I needed to at least have my first cup of coffee. And then she just sat there watching me drink her invention, and what a big smile when I asked for seconds. I'll always remember her smile. I told her all the time that it looked like she was glowing when she smiled. She was so happy during the time she was living with her mom and I. She was excited and a little scared to step out to her next step in life with the man she was falling in love with. When she moved out with Adam in this little town of Dotson, what a cute little place. Like any couple starting out, they did not have even the basics. Jen and I helped out, and so did Adam's parents. We were so proud of Kim and what she was doing in her life. We will always love her and remember those special times. This last week, Pastor Josh, Pastor Tom, and Roberta were sitting in our living room, and we were planning the service. Roberta shared with us the special time she spent talking to Kim about her life and God for hours in the home away from home. Our Kim gave her heart to God that day, and we didn't know that until then. Even though we'll miss her very much, just knowing that she was ready has made all the difference in the world to us. Even though Janet and I were only married a few years, I have been part of the Schott family for the last 30 years. We have shared both good times and bad ones, and this time has been the worst of all. I'd like to say something to the family and all the people that knew Kimberly. We can think about Kim's death, a single tragic memory that has changed us all forever. Or better yet, we can think about Kim's life. There are so many memories you all have of her. I challenge you all to think of how Kimberly's life has changed you and how her life has touched you forever. She is in a better place now. We love you, Kimberly, and I love you, Janet. Thank you.